Hey, everybody, it's Mike Hendricks from the Ohio Golf Course Owners Association. And today, Andy Heffner's here from Heritage Creations. And Andy, I wanted to say thank you so much for sponsoring the Ohio Golf Conference. It's going to be at Westbrook Country Club, one of your customers. And I just really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for sponsoring us. We can't put on our conference without sponsors because our members get to come to the conference for free. So your support matters a lot to us.
Mike, thank you so much. And needless to say, we're very much looking forward to participating. And as we've discussed before, there's no better place for a show and tell than at your best customer.
You rise up early. You put in the work. We do too. A heritage of excellence.
It's really cool that you guys serve Pebble Beach, Ball Straw, Winged Foot, the whole gamut. And it's all coming out of Celina, Ohio. I just get a kick out of that.
I look at it and say it's the team. And I think when I go to Celina, and I go a couple times a year, it's always impressive to me to see the number of people that we have, and the passion that they have for the work that they do. And I always tell people you can't teach someone how to be passionate. And when you look at woodworking and you look at engraving and you're seeing people actually working with their hands, it's incredibly impressive. And I don't know where else you can go and get the team that we have unless you're in a community that really fosters that type of, hands-on, willing to learn, look at new technology, but at the same time put out literally the best product that you can.
When you talk about working with your hands and actually building something that lasts and
Absolutely.
something that you can touch and feel, it's in 2026 that becomes more and more special. I think we get further and further away from those kinds of things. For you guys to kind of bring us back to that is super cool.
We refer to it as being museum quality. And I know what we do, especially on the champion panel side, when you look at a piece of cherry or mahogany and you look at how many years either they've been hanging on the wall for 50, 60 years, or conversely, you have a director of golf that wants to project out another 50 or 60 years. A lot of the panels that we do are relatively large and they'll hold between 60 and 120 plates. That is a lot of champions. And it's also a lot of years. And when you look at some of the older panels that we've done, um, they're in great shape. They look like they could have been created, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And
And of course, you also do this whole experiential line, all these digital panels that we're seeing now, and that's what we see at Westbrook. And so everybody that comes to the conference, they're going to get a chance to walk around the club. They won't just be in the pavilion for all the presentations, but they'll get a chance to walk around the club and see like these incredible Donald Ross things that you've built, these panels that help members really get a full experience of the club. I say to people, it's really something you have to see and feel and touch yourself to really understand what it is. It's really incredible what you guys are doing.
I like to refer to it as not Grandpa's Country Club. And when you think about what we call HIT, which is Heritage Interactive Touchscreens, it's an immersive experience. And what we did at Westbrook is three 65-inch panel touchscreens that are done as a series of three that can act independently or they can act as one. And I think when you look at that, to me, in a lot of ways, it's bigger than life size. And I think when you do a tour of the golf course and you have videos, again, having had this on display for the first time at the PGA show, we were overwhelmed with how directors of golf and head golf managers were really responding to having something, A, that's new, B, could certainly be listed as a member benefit. And at the same time, it's just a complete information portal all in one spot.
I would
Yeah,
think really cool for the prospect, right? I mean, I'm
yeah,
sure there are membership sales directors
right.
at the clubs where you work, and I would think they want to see this new prospective member get in front of those panels. I actually watched people come to your booth at the PGA
Right.
show, and they just get drawn in. They want to touch it. They want to experience it. It is really unique. It's an
It is.
impressive thing that you guys have built.
Yeah, again, and we do this all in house. This is things that we thought of, things that we created, things that we actually have built. Um, and to me, the most exciting part of it is that when we did our presentations at the PGA show, it really wasn't, take me to the pro shop or take me to the golf course, and show me hole number 4 or the driving range or putting greens. It's to be able to show them what you can do for weddings. You have to be able to have all the wedding information presented. And for a lot of clubs, that's a huge revenue driver. And that's really, really important. And the thing that stood out most to me was really the legacy of the club. I think presented in a format where you have, this very large, vivid, digital display and having scrolling down, the history of the club from 1896 to current, and then having all of these images and everything essentially being almost life size.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, that was really breathtaking. Again, going back to the course side, to be able to have highlight, the course designer. And I had one PGA professional come up to me and say, I would buy this just for that one feature, because everybody comes up to me and would say, tell me about the architect of the golf course. So now you can just click on it. You can get, volumes of information on Donna Ross or
Yeah.
whoever the architect is.
It's we obviously to work for some of those clubs that I mentioned, whether Wingfoot or Pebble Beach or whatever, it's really cool. But
Yeah.
your Ohio roster is really good too, right? Shaker Country Club, Scioto, Westbrook,
Muirfield, Sandy
Muirfield.
Hills. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
we like to do things obviously starting local and obviously branched out from there. But again, we're just proud to be associated and be in Ohio as a company. And you'd say great golf opportunities in Ohio, and certainly very much looking forward to meeting more owners and senior management at the beginning of March.
So, like you mentioned, you're going to come to the conference. You
Good.
guys are sponsoring our lunch. What that means is you all are producing a video right now that we're going to play throughout the entire pavilion at Westbrook. And
Right.
so, as everyone's eating lunch, of course, you're going to get on stage and you'll introduce yourself and that kind of thing. But as everyone's eating lunch, they're going to get a chance to see all of the really cool work that you guys have done around the country. I'm sure you're going to highlight Westbrook, but I'm sure
Yeah.
you'll include other things as well. But I do think it's important to also mention your whole catalog, if you will. You don't just do these amazing panels and this amazing woodwork. You're doing trophies like so many golf courses in America need for their events. You're doing gifts for the men's championship or the member guest. You really are a full service company when it comes to supplying clubs with all those types of things.
Absolutely. And that's how, the brand started 40 years ago. And, it was really just going to, at that time, local clubs, and it actually started in upstate New York. And they were just really kind of selling, small wooden tea gifts. And I think as a company, when you look at our current catalog, which in 2022 was 212 pages long, we're really known to have a very extensive, assortment of great tea gifts. We also have great awards for members, club championships. We do a lot of crystal. We do a lot of barware. We do a lot of wooden plaques. We do a lot of hole-in-ones. A lot of people don't realize, but the average club has between 12 and 15 hole-in-ones per year per 18 holes. So for a lot of clubs that give out an award or a plaque for a hole-in-one, that's really a nice way of commemorating really kind of the best day of somebody's life. And the
Yeah.
other thing that we're really trying to highlight now is really more custom awards. A lot of clubs in the last few years have gone to, especially private clubs, really going to a private club logo. So the private club logos can be different than what the general public sees. And we're trying to establish what's iconic about certain clubs. And I think, we had a conversation about what we've done with Harvey Pinnock. And this was something that we created for Austin Country Club, just because they wanted to do something different. It's hard to take, that, you know, 3D and turn that into a plaque. It really needed to be freestanding the way it is. So I think, I always tell people that if you have the time and you have the budget, we can do anything.
Yeah, that's great. Listen, we're super excited to see you guys in Mansfield. Again, it's March 3rd, Westbrook Country Club, all day long. And thank you so much for being our lunch sponsor. And I think it's you're going to come to the conference. I believe one of the owners
Yeah, one of
of
the
Heritage
partners,
is going to come to the
yeah,
conference.
Brad Meyer is going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mercy Elam, our project manager.
Yeah, and that's what's great too.
Yeah,
Mercy's coming, and Mercy's like the project manager. You want to
right.
kind of know the person that's going to shepherd your project along, and so Mercy's going to be there in
She
person as
is
well. So everybody can
incredible.
meet her.
You know, she gets a lot of credit for what you see at Westbrook, and she is incredibly eager. She's incredibly, wonderful to work with. She's generally always available. And again, we've done so many of these types of projects that you really need someone, as a touch point. You need someone that you can really, either express what your vision is, as we did with Westbrook, and Dan and Brenda Niss, and to be able to take that and to turn it into something that is, your vision and here's your reality.
Well, thanks again, and we'll see you in March, Andy. Thank you very much.
Looking forward to it, buddy. Thank you.